The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Fly, and it's that time again. I feel like we get this every year where Oda and his editors are telling us that the end is nigh. I think a lot of us already knew that, since I've stated many times before that at the end of Wano, Luffy will have 3/4 of poneglyphs and he just needs one more and he will finally head to Laugh Tale. Recent comments from Oda and his team has said that after Wano we are heading into the final arc of One Piece, and to many, and kind of myself included, that kind of seems a little ridiculous. Now, this will not be a video ragging on if it's actually gonna end. Is it gonna be 5 more years? I don't know. I don't care, honestly. As long as the ending is satisfying and all I's are dotted and all T's are crossed, I think I'm perfectly fine with One Piece ending in 5 years, 7 years, or whatever Oda and his editors say. Instead, I want to have a little fun and actually talk to you guys. I want to get to know or talk to you guys about what is left for One Piece to talk about and what possible arcs need to happen or should happen. I won't lie, it does kind of seem ridiculous that One Piece will end in 5 years because there's so much things we need to discuss and talk about and go over. I've already discussed that we need to go to Elbaf because the connections between Big Mom, as well as the character development and growth for Usopp, because he wants to go to Elbaf and see what it is to be a true warrior. It's very important for his character growth. And I do believe that Elbaf and the Giants as a whole are going to be very important in the history of One Piece and possibly have connections to the Void Century, because they're not affiliated with the world government at all. So there's probably more to it than they're just powerful warriors, and they possibly have a connection with the Ancient Kingdom from long ago. But there's also a lot of other things we need to delve into for the story of One Piece for me to feel that is complete and feel satisfied when it finally comes to a close. One of those things is the revolutionaries and their plot with the world government. I can't wait to see their battle. They could be involved with the final battle with the world government once One Piece has been found and once the truth has been spread across the world. The revolutionaries, along with the rest of the world, may ally with the Straw Hats and try to take down the world government, and that's how we are resolved with the revolutionary army plot point, and that's how everything comes to a close, with both Whitebeard and Kozuki Oden both saying that once the One Piece has been found, there will be a great war and battle that will take place in the world of One Piece, and involving the revolutionaries into that plot would wrap things quite nicely and will get 2 birds with 1 stone. There's also Vegapunk and his story and all the knowledge that he possesses, as well as the origin and explanation of devil fruits. Now, a lot of people want Vegapunk to get his own arc. I don't really think he needs an arc. In fact, he only really needs a chapter 2 to explain everything that he knows and his history with the world government and why he joined forces with them, because as we know, along with Judge and Caesar Clown, they are all 3 rogue scientists going around the world. But then when they got captured, Vegapunk made a deal to join the world government. I feel like Vegapunk is an action evil character, but he's just allies himself with science, and he'll do anything to further science and the technology of the One Piece world. He has no real allegiance to the world government, the revolutionaries, or pirates. He just wants technology to evolve. And as seen when Frankie went to the home island of Vegapunk, it was stated that Vegapunk had a lot of aspirations and he had good intentions, but he didn't really have the funds to do what he needed to do. So really, I can just see him using the world government to further his funds and further his technology and his aspirations in life. There's also Madame Shirley's prophecy about Fishman Island coming to the end of a man wearing a straw hat. Many presumed, or she presumed, to be Straw Hat Luffy, but we've seen that there's a giant straw hat up in Mary Jo's with Imu-sama, so it could possibly come to an end because of Imu doing the grand cleansing and wiping Fishman Island off the map. Though I don't really believe that is the case, but I do believe that Luffy will be involved with the destruction of Fishman Island, possibly getting Fishman Island involved in a great battle, or the theory that Pluton will be used to destroy the Red Line and thus uniting all 4 seas and also creating the All Blue, which I do 100% believe in that theory, and I think that is the case because I do not think the Red Line is actually natural and is actually a man-made thing, because the world of One Piece is very strange in that all the islands are kind of scattered and it's not really as whole. So I feel like the world government back in the day split everything apart and wanted to separate things to have greater control over the seas. And there's a little bit of evidence backing that up when we seen the whales entering the new world with the Straw Hats. You seen some of them had scars on their forehead because they're bashing their heads against the Red Line. As same thing happening with Laboon. Many thought it was just Laboon trying to get to the other side to meet with Brook, but I think it's a lot deeper than that. I think the whales know that the red line isn't natural and they're trying to break it down, but they do not have enough power to do so. And with the destruction of the red line, the four seas and the grand line can finally become whole, where anyone and everyone can travel and complete freedom will be achieved. There's also Lodestar Island, which I feel we should go, but Oda made it a way where we don't actually have to go there anymore, because as we've seen that when you go to Lodestar Island, that's where you find about the road poneglyphs and how to get to Laugh Tale. But the Straw Hats already skipped that part when they went to Zou, so they don't really need to go there any longer, but I still feel like we should go there because I want to see what's on that island. And it's kind of important for Nami to go there because she wants to make a world map, so I can actually see Nami insisting on going to Lodestar Island, so it would help her complete this map. And we all know Luffy loves an adventure, so he would go along and be like, yeah, I think we should go. So I feel like Lodestar Island will happen. It might be a small miniature arc where it's just an info dump, which is fine with me if we don't get a grand battle. It's just a lot of information we get about the world of One Piece. There are also miscellaneous things like the Atom Tree, the origin of the Eve Tree, as well as the Devil Fruit Tree, which I believe we'll learn more about once we meet Dr. Vegapunk and the origins of Devil Fruits. But most importantly, there is the final war and the culmination of the Throne War, which is Laugh Tale and the final island of the One Piece world. I'm assuming this next final arc or final saga is going to be the Laugh Tale saga and the search for it. I believe that this is going to be a great war and it's going to be the start of the final war in One Piece once One Piece has been found. And I do not actually think that it's just going to be Luffy and Blackbeard that are the only crews that land on Laugh Tale. I think in fact there's going to be a large group of people heading there, might not get on the actual island, but there will be a large battle around the island, because once word gets around that Luffy has the final road poneglyph, pirates from all over are going to try to go after Luffy and follow him to Laugh Tale. And pirates such as Kid, Law, maybe some of the other supernovas, even some marines will be involved with this battle, but it will be Blackbeard and Luffy who are the only crews that actually make it to the island. And this is where we'll also get Shanks and Buggy, because they both said, or at least Shanks said to Buggy when he was sick, that we will get to Laugh Tale on our own time with our own crews, and I think that will come into fruition. But unless Shanks dies and then Buggy decides to stay at Shanks' side the same way Shanks was at Buggy's side when Buggy was ill, which I think would be a great character moment for Buggy. And I feel like both of them, or at least one of them, especially Buggy, should be involved with the Laugh Tale, as they both were sailing with Roger but never actually made it to the island, and both have aspirations, or at least did want to head to Laugh Tale Island one day. And one of the most important things that we need to know about is the Void Century. I think we're going to get a large flashback, probably the largest flashback to date in One Piece, about the Void Century, learning about what happened, as well as the ancient weapons. And speaking of ancient weapons, I think it's soon time to find out where they are, what their true natures are, and what the role in the story will be. With Kaido and Big Mom setting their eyes on one of the ancient weapons, I think it's time that the ancient weapons come into play in the story of One Piece. I mentioned in the previous video about how the truth of the Void Century will be spread around the world, because I always wondered, how is everyone going to know about the truth, and how will a war start if the Straw Hats are the only ones who figure out what happened? Is Luffy just gonna be yelled to everyone like, hey, I heard this and this happened in the Void Century, that's kind of fucked up, we need to do something? I kind of find that odd. I don't even feel like Luffy would say anything. He and his crew would take the responsibility on their backs and do things. So I always felt like there has to be a way for the truth to spread across the world, and there actually in fact is a way, and that way is called the News Coup, the newspaper of the One Piece world, where information is spread across throughout the world of One Piece. And we know from recent events, Big News Morgans actually said himself that he doesn't care what the world government think. If he wants to put in the paper, he will put it himself. And the Void Century and the truth about the world sounds like juicy information that Big News Morgans would love to put in his newspaper. So I don't know who would tell him, or how. Maybe Robin or Sanji or some other character will tell Big News Morgans about what happened during the Void Century, and he would be so enticed with the information that he would like to spread it. And we've seen that the world government will try to kill Big News Morgans for information that they do not want to be spread. Also, there's one possibility, or at least theory, that I would like to just bring up now since I have the time, about the final war after One Piece has been found, and that is the possibility that Law and Luffy get captured by the world government. And I mean in the sense that Fujitora may possibly end up capturing the Pirate King Luffy. And why I say that is because At the end of Just Rosa, Akainu and Fujitora were in an argument, and Akainu states that Fujitora is no longer allowed in any world government or marine base facilities until he captures Law and Monkey D. Luffy. And at the time, I genuinely thought that was just a joke and it wasn't serious, and Fujitora would just enter a marine base regardless. But at recent events with the referee, Akainu was mad that Fujitora was at Mary Jo's, and he said he wasn't allowed to marry any marine base, and that kind of hit me like, oh shit, Akainu was serious. Because this plot point has been brought up more than once by Akainu and Fujitora, and even Fujitora himself says that he likes that and he will fulfill that deed, that he will capture Monkey D. Luffy and Trafalgar Law, when he's talking to Sengoku, and Sengoku was telling him he doesn't actually have to do this, he can just apologize to Akainu. So I think that's gonna come full circle at the very end of the Laugh Tale arc. Maybe Fujitora will capture Luffy saying he's sorry and he doesn't actually want to do this, but it has to be done. And that's how the world at large kind of goes into uproar, because Luffy has such an impact on many people throughout the world of One Piece and actually helped them more than the Marines and world government ever had. So maybe that will be the start of the final war, where the Revolutionary Army, because we know from Ivankov that Dragon would actually help out and go to war against the world government if Luffy were in danger or if one of his sons were in danger, and Ivankov's pretty close with Dragon, so I would take his words to heart. And we've seen that Dragon actually did save Luffy back in Loke Town, and he wishes to meet Luffy and wishes the best for him. So I probably would believe that that's how the war could start, with the world learning that Luffy's gonna get executed. He's at Impel Down. That's how you reintroduce Doflamingo and Bon Clay, because Bon Clay is actually alive, and reintroduced to Magellan and the new guards of Impel Down. The Straw Hats are able to do what Luffy wanted to do for Ace, and many characters will repay the debt that they owe to Luffy by actually trying to save him, and that's how the war will begin. Because like I said, I don't know how this war will even start. So maybe by making it personal, by having Luffy captured and everyone going to uproar and trying to battle the world government because they know that's not right and Luffy deserves better and he shouldn't deserve to be executed because he's actually a really good guy. And maybe that's when Usopp's famous lie of having over 8,000 subordinates behind him and backing him up could come to fruition when they battle the world government and Usopp claims that, and then people around the world come and fight the world government. And by the way, don't take my words or theories to heart. It's just a theory, or at least a prediction, or something I would like to happen or think to happen. You don't have to agree. It is what it is. I'm just stating my opinions. And if you don't like it, that's actually perfectly okay. Because at the end of the day, this is just a manga, anime, and a story. And honestly, it's not that deep. So don't raise your blood pressure by hearing what I'm talking about in this video, because it's not healthy. There are a lot of mysteries and plot points that need to be resolved, as well as characters that need to be developed and we need to learn more about. But honestly, these things could all happen in just a few chapters or in one arc, where Oda could combine all of these things in flashbacks. Like the Void Century, once the Void Century has been revealed to us as readers, a lot of our concerns, mysteries, and plot points will be solved by then, or will be solved with that flashback. So I don't think there's a lot to worry about. In terms of the fulfillment of the Straw Hats' dreams, that will happen by the end of the series, so I don't even think we need to worry all that much. By the end of the series, those things will be solved. The only thing that we'll need to be concerned about is Zoro's dream, because he needs to fight Mihawk or whoever is the world's greatest swordsman by the end of the series, which I hope it's Mihawk. I know there's a theory that Mihawk will lose to Shiryu eventually, which I pray to God that doesn't happen. I would feel a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie, if Shiryu killed Mihawk and then Zoro kind of has to avenge his master, and that's how he becomes the world's greatest swordsman. So I don't know, maybe during this final war, Mihawk confronts Zoro one last time, thinking it's the best opportune time with everyone watching around them, or at least surrounding them. They can have a grand battle, and Zoro could defeat Mihawk in the eyes of many people, proving that he is the world's greatest swordsman. Or he dies and then Zoro beats Shiryu on Laugh Tale. I don't know. Also, there's the Rogers flashback, if we even get one, and maybe Monkey D. Garp and his whole story. I would love to see a flashback of God's Valley. I've seen some people think God's Valley is still around and we need to go to that island. I don't think so. I do believe that island is wiped off the face of the map, but we'll get a flashback about it later on. But if it is still around and we go there, I wouldn't mind. I think that'd be very interesting, because the island itself is very fascinating in my mind, but I think we'll explore that once we get Big Mom and Kaido's full flashback with the Rock Pirates, as well as the possible civil war within the Marines and world government once the truth has been set free. A lot of people are probably going to defect with the revolutionaries, not demolishing or abolishing the Marines and the world government as a whole. Like Dragon has stated, they don't want to do that. They just want to get rid of the Celestial Dragons, but making a new regime and making a better Marines. But Akainu's role in the story is actually very interesting. I know a lot of people, myself included, want Sabo and or Luffy, or maybe both of them, fighting Akainu and avenging their brother. Especially Sabo, I think, would be better suited because he has the Fire Mirror no Mi, proving that just because the Magma fruit is superior doesn't mean that it'll always win, or all that little thematic fun stuff. But I want to talk about Akainu's role in the world government, because we know that he doesn't actually like the Gorosei or the Celestial Dragons, thinking them as puppets. And neither does he like Cypher Pull, but it kinda made me think, what if Akainu found out that Imu actually exists and is actually the king of the world? How would he react? Would he side with Imu, or would he find Imu weird and kind of back off the Marines and try to reform them and make a better regime? Even though we know he's a kind of an asshole with his absolute justice, he's not actually evil, he's just a very serious dude. Or once Akainu figures out that Imu-sama is the king of the world, will he flip on the Gorosei? Because we already know he doesn't like the Gorosei because he finds them as puppets to the Celestial Dragons. And if he finds out that they're not the actual heads of the world government and there's actually someone else behind them, he might think to himself, why am I listening to you guys if there's someone else above you guys? So maybe he might try to make a plot to take out the Gorosei. We know Akainu is a very manipulative dude, so he might try to make a deal with Imu-sama, trying to become his new right-hand man, and actually agree with Imu-sama and everything that person is trying to do, but will want to get rid of the Gorosei because he finds them as incompetent old men. I think we should keep that in mind because that would be super fascinating on the character of Akainu. This will probably be resolved during the Void Century flashback, but I would love to know the great sin that Zunisha committed and why exactly it's forced to walk for eternity, and who made Zunisha do that in the first place. Like, what sort of power does this person have to force Zunisha to walk, and why only certain people are able to communicate and give orders to Zunisha? Is there some sort of King's Hockey, a high level degree where you're able to have telepathy and mind manipulation? That might be too much, or is it really? I'm not exactly sure. We'll find that out sooner or later. It was said that Zunisha likes to eat apples from Sky Islands in the Viver card, so maybe Zunisha is the one who introduced devil fruits to the society. And what were those giant shadow figures in the Florian Triangle back in Thriller? There's also the situation with Princess Vivi, Alabasta, as well as Sabo and Bo Hancock, what's going on with them and what type of situation they're going through. Also the plotline with Weevil and being the son of Whitebeard and how that's going to culminate. There's a lot of stuff that we still need to go through, but I guess that Oda's going to go through that very shortly in the next few arcs. And before we go, there's also the meeting with Shanks and Straw Hat Crew, which will happen. It's just a matter of when, not if. And also Blackbeard and Shanks confrontation. It's possible that Blackbeard will end the life of red-haired Shanks. I did state that I think Kid might be involved with this battle somehow, someway, because there is a connection between Shanks and Kid, with both missing an arm, red hair, scar, all of that fun stuff. And we know that there is a little bit of hatred with Kid towards Shanks, who is Luffy's benefactor. So I would love if Kid is actually involved with the battle. Maybe actually Eustace Kid is the one who deals the finishing blow on Shanks, or there's a confrontation and Big Blackbeard is the one who deals the finishing blow. Either way, I want Kid to be involved because I have a lot of expectations of Eustace Kid. And finally, what's up with the moon? Like, is there multiple moons? Because there was a globe back in Professor Glover's little tree where there was several moons around the globe, and NL went to the moon and we found out there's an ancient civilization, and that might be the actual origin and birthplace of all Skypians, and possibly even all humans on Earth. Maybe possibly because maybe that all the humans are actually evolutions of the Skypians after they settled on the Blue Sea. And most importantly, there are goddamn aliens in the world of One Piece. There are space pirates that are aliens. What the hell? Anyways, that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I left stuff out. If I did, put down in the comments what you guys think, what needs to be addressed at the end of the series, and your thoughts on the final arc of One Piece and what that entails. Don't forget to rate the video, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay notified. It really helps my channel grow, and it keeps me, the content creator, very happy. Follow me on Twitter for updates, or if you want to ask me any questions, I'll answer them over there. Also, follow me on twitch.tv/FlyFlazy, where we do live streams, chill and vibe, and all that good stuff. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. Please be well to each other, be nice, stay safe, have a good day and a good night. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Toodles!